Well, understandably, as soon as the government announced the lockdown of the restaurant businesses, the restaurant had to close and they did suffer. But alternatively, the people who are providing takeaway services, they were doing quite well. I think about 70-80% of them have opened for takeaways, and the ones who are providing a home delivery service and collection, they're doing quite well. To be fair, I think some of the companies did drop their commission a little bit, but still it's way quite high. And what it's doing is cutting into the margins of the delivery service. And you have to understand, area to area it varies. Some people they have quite a reasonable margin, but some places work on a very small margin. And those people, it's affecting more because the businesses that they're doing, the profit margin is being eaten up by the commission for these delivery companies, delivery platforms. I mean, there's two types. I think there's some of the platforms, if you have your own driver, they charge anything between 15 to 18%. If this their driver, they're charging up to 30-35%. Now, there are very few businesses, I would say, that who actually make 30% profit margin. If you take all your expenses into account, your rent, rates, your staffing, your net profit, it wouldn't be that much. So those businesses would not be able to sustain. So if your margin is not there, it does not matter how much business you're doing, there is no profit left because the margin you had is being taken by these platforms. I mean, Indian restaurant takers, we're all the same boat. People being able to, we are extremely grateful to the government for having the furlough and also having the grant. But obviously, and there's holiday periods for your VAT, but obviously you have to be aware that this is all going to gradually come to an end. And even having all that support, there are businesses that can't cope. Also with social distancing, there's a lot of other measures that you have to take in precaution. So there are businesses that are suffering substantially. The reason being, we have the furlough will come to an end. A lot of people will have the build-up of the VAT, which they've got a holiday period. But what you have to remember is the VAT is still due. You pay later, but you still have to pay. The grant would have been used up. And also, even once you're allowed to open, people are not going to rush to go to a restaurant. A lot of people will be cautious and hesitant. So, and for social distancing, your capacity will be reduced hugely. Some has up to 50%. So if you had a 100-seater restaurant, it becomes 50-seater. If you had a 50-seater restaurant, it becomes 25. So is it feasible? So it's tough times ahead. The delivery companies, we appreciate the things, the platform that you provide, but to be fair, please reduce your commission as much as you can. And to the people like myself, if I have my own client base, if I have my own database, then I'm not having to give my commission to the platform that's providing me the service. So I would create your own database, create your own platform, then you're not sharing your little bit of profit you have with anybody, that it's yours to keep. It's to the local customers, to the businesses, what happens is when you find a restaurant, I know typical thing we do is when we have a certain platform, certain delivery company, we have the app on our phone, we go there. But if you go directly to the businesses, you're supporting the business, you're supporting your local business, and they get to keep that little margin they have. That will help them immensely. So please support your local businesses. Go direct to them.